Okay, so we're back in Wakanda Studio. Let's go back into our index page and create our custom error handling solution. So we're not going to use the auto form. I'm going to make this a little smaller to make room for our custom error message. And I'd like to display that at the top. Let's give that a little bigger font. And instead of using the auto form, let's use the form widget instead. Okay, and let's give these a little space in between. You will see why later. Let's line those up. Okay, now we need a couple buttons, and I'm going to make this a create and another button. Now I'm not going to use the automatic action because here I want to control what happens on the save. So I'm going to go into the on-click and I'm going to use a Wakanda application framework. And I want to do the save. So to make this an asynchronous save, we need to pass this an options object with two properties. On success, which is a function, and on error. So if we save our entity on the server, if we're successful, we'll get the on success function called and will be passed back an event object. And if it could not pass the validation rules, the on error function will be called and will be passed back an error object. So let's use jQuery to set a message in our div. So if we're successful, we'll give it a message. Let's get a pointer to error div 1, and the message will be successfully saved on the server. And if we have an error, we'll give it that message. Now let's use jQuery one more time to do some CSS styling on our error div to give it a color. We'll have green for success, and red if there was an error. Okay, let's save that. Let's launch the server and look at our new application.
I was going to ask you something, you weren't there.
There we go. So let's try to create a member here, Fred,
Oh, this.
and we'll save it. And there's our message. Successfully saved on the server. Let's try to create another one. We'll make Jim under 21 and hit save. And we got our message in red, could not save on the server. So we do have our message with top placement and visual contrast. But the next principle of error best practices is to highlight the field in question. Let's go back and do that. So one more thing, I'm going to check these labels, their IDs, using the inspector and ID label 2. Okay, so the age is label 2. So let's go back here, and I want to put a message right here, error div 2. Let's save that. So, as I remember, I think the age was 201 was the error code. So to get a hold of our error message and code, in fact, let's make this var. We can use this object. And if we index into this object with a string of error, it's actually an array of objects, and the 0 object is our custom error. So now let's set a message in error div 2, and we'll get rid of this string here. And the message property has our custom error message, and let's set that color to red. Now we only want to do this if we're talking about the age. So we have a code here, and I remember on the server we set the error code to 201 if the age was under 21. So we'll save that. So let's go back here, create a new member, Kelly, age 17, too young to join the Wakanda Club. Let's save, and we got the message here, could not save on the server. We have our message near our field in question. The only thing we didn't get is I want to highlight the label in red. So let's go do that, and I think we'll be complete. That was label 2. So let's see if we got everything we want now. Create a new member, Kelly, age 17, and save, and there we go. We have our message, top placement, visual contrast. We've highlighted the field in question with a red label, and also we've put a message telling the user what the problem is, how to correct it. So anyway, we have our custom error handling solution with Wakanda. I hope that's been a help, and I'll see you next time.